Okay, so the last examples that we have are 3 and 4, and we have fractions. So I'm going to write it off to the side. We have 3/4 x equals 12/20. So what operation are these two right now?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So what's the opposite? Division. So what number do I divide by? 3/4. Okay, now make sure you write divide by, because especially when we start mixing operations, you're going to need that sign to know what you're doing, right? Okay. What? Okay, so when we do fractions, when we divide fractions, what is our saying? Keep, change, flip. So I keep which one? The one that's first, so 12/20. I change division to multiplication. This is why we're multiplying Damien. And I flip 3/4 to make it 4/3. Is there anywhere that I can reduce?
Yeah, 12 is 3.
The 12 becomes a
4.
The 3 becomes a anywhere else?
4.
The 4 becomes a the 20 becomes a okay? So now when you multiply fractions, you just multiply straight across. 4 times 1 is 5 times 1 is. So your answer is just 4. Questions on that? Okay, so Trey, we're not working on that now. Put that away. Okay, so now I have -7/9 d equals 5. Again, what operation are these two? Multiplication, so what's the opposite? Division, so I divide by what? I divide by -7/9. Divide by -7/9. Okay? So this was giving my 1, so I have d on that side. Now which one do you keep? 5. What does it go over? Good. Change division to, and flip it to make it. Okay, it doesn't matter where your negative sign goes. You could leave it with the 7 or you could leave it on top. Just don't forget it. You need it one place. Okay? Anywhere I can reduce?
No.
Okay, so then I take 5 times -9, which will give me -45 over 1 times 7. Okay, so since I have an improper fraction, I need to make it a mixed number. So I take 45 divided by 7. How many times can 7 go into 45? 6 times 7. Subtract, I get. What do you do with that 3?
7.
Good. So -3 and, sorry, -6 and 3/7. Questions on that? So you always flip the fraction that you are dividing by. So the one that you're moving will be the one that you flip. If you flip the wrong one, you will get the wrong answer. So make sure you pay attention to that. Questions? Okay, try E, F, and G. First one, what operation are 1/2 and 8? Oh, I have one for you. Multiplication, so what's the opposite? So I divide by what number? 1/2. How do you divide fractions?
Change flip.
Which number do I keep?
The 8 over 1.
You keep the one that's by itself, 8. Times what?
2 over 1.
2 over 1, because you flip it. What do I put 8 over?
1.
8 times 2 over. So my answer is just good. Yep. You could, yeah. It might be a little longer sometimes. I would just do it that way, but that's just my personal preference. What operation are these two? Multiplication, so what's the opposite? So I divide by what? -3/4, but yes. Okay, so which one do you keep? The one that's by itself, so
9 over 1.
9 over 1, change division to, and then flip it to make it,
4/3.
where do you want to put the negative? On top, okay? Can I reduce anywhere? The 9 and 3, the 9 becomes a The 3 becomes a, so then 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 over, so your answer is just negative 12. Thumbs up, you got that. Good, I walked around, a lot of us have that. Okay, and then the last one. What operation are these two? What's the opposite? So I divide by what? Good, divide by negative 7/8. Which one do you keep?
Without the variable.
The one without the variable, so negative 21 over 64. Change division to, and flip it to make it,
8, 7.
can I cross reduce anywhere?
Yes.
Where?
8 and 64. Between 64. 8 and 8, 1.
Negative 1 and 8.
And 21 and 7.
Negative 21 becomes a
3.
negative 3. 7 becomes a 1. So negative 3 times negative 1 is, negative times a negative is a positive. So 3 times 1 is over what? 8. So your answer is just 8. Questions on those? Okay, flip it over. I have one last example for you. Yes. Did I? Yes. All right. Valerie needs 2/3 yard of fabric to make each hat for the school play. Write and solve an equation to find out how many hats she can make with 6 yards of fabric. It's always easier for me to pick out the total. What is the total amount of fabric that we have?
6 yards.
The total amount we have is 6 yards, so we know that it's going to equal 6. Now, how much do you use for each hat? 2/3 of a yard. And do you know how many hats you're making? No, but what does each mean? What operation? Multiplication, right? Because if I use 2/3 for the first one, 2/3 for the second one, 2/3 for the third one, 2/3 for the fourth one, and so on, right? So it's multiplication. So let's write H for hats. What would I do to solve? Divide by 2/3. Divide by 2/3. Which one do you keep? So the 6 over times over. Good. Okay, cross reduce. Yep, where? Perfect. And then 3 times 3 is? So how many hats can you make? 9 hats. Questions on that? Okay. Actually.